Hello and welcome to the OK Takes podcast. I am Matt, and as always, I'm joined by my fellow capo, Edward. As of 8:30 p.m. West Coast time, we're going to have a very honest debate. Is Jimmy G the problem? Because the 49ers just lost 2017, heartbreaker, last-second field goal by Fat Randy. So before getting into all of that, I wanted to also preview some of the other games we're going to preview later on. We have the Ravens and Bengals. And then after that, we got the Colts and Cardinals. And then after that, we got Bills and Pats. All right. 49ers 17, Titans 20. Okay, I think we've already agreed upon this, but I'll ask it again. Jimmy G is not that guy.
No, he's not. He's not bad enough to where I think it's panic mode, but he's not good enough for this Niners team. That's kind of where I'm at with Jimmy G.
Yeah, I feel like George Kittle. I feel like George Kittle. Oh, trust me, you guys have no idea what's coming in the second half when it comes to Freudian slips for me. No idea. I'm just getting you prepared. I'm just getting you prepared. Yeah, so I feel like Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle, I think these guys maybe deserve something better. This guy who could deliver a little bit more.
That's an elite trio of weapons. Like, hearing you say it out loud made me realize it more, like, than watching it on the field. And maybe that's because Jimmy G doesn't really play to their strengths, but like, and then you throw in like Mostert when he's healthy. Elijah Mitchell's emerged as a good running back. Mm-hmm. That's a really good skill players to have. And I feel like they just need a better quarterback around them.
It is kind of interesting, though, because there was the quote from Kyle Shanahan, I believe last summer, saying that they passed on Brady. And if we know anything about system quarterbacks, I mean, Tom Brady is literally the Tom Brady of system quarterbacks.
Yeah, Tom Brady with Deebo Samuel and Kittle would have been wow.
Because the way the game was going, and I text you this, when it finally hit 10-10 in the third quarter after the Deontay Foreman touchdown, it felt like this was still a lopsided 10-10 because the 49ers had the Titans on their heels the entire game up until that point, especially the first quarter, because they score on their first drive and it was a classic. This is a classic 49ers drive. It went literally 9 minutes and 59 seconds and it was run down your throats, a little bit of here, little something to Deebo here, little something to Kittle there. And we're like, okay, well, the takeover begins. At least that's how I felt.
Yeah. As far as both teams go, this game didn't really move the needle for me for either team. But yeah, I did kind of feel like the Niners were the better team all game, most of the game at least. But one thing I did notice is that games I feel like probably go by really quick, the way they dominated the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, this was a fast game because they have 9-minute possessions, and we saw them had like a 15-minute possession earlier in the year. But yeah, it certainly feels like a game the Niners let slip away.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's the problem with this 49ers offense is when you're able to obviously sounds very dumb, but when you're able to score on these possessions is great. But what happens is if you come up short, like if you take a drive, like in the 49ers second drive to go all the way down to the red zone, and then Jimmy G throws a pick to Janoris Jenkins. Okay, well, that's huge because that killed a bunch of minutes, and now you only get so many possessions. Kind of same thing that's been plaguing the Chargers is that they'll get down to the red zone, and for Brandon Staley, it means that he's not going to get on fourth down, but for the 49ers, it means Jimmy G is going to heave a pick.
Yeah, it's almost like you reap what you sow kind of thing. Like, they take all this time, get downfield, and only to throw a pick and come away with no points. And then that only leaves them with so much more time left, So it's like, sure, this whole dominate the time of possession, have long drives thing looks good on paper, but at what point should they maybe try to move up the field with more urgency?
No, I mean, this is their plan. This is their identity. I have no problem with it. I truly have no problem, but it's going to come down to Jimmy G. So that's why I say that's where he's holding back, because also in that first quarter when they settled for a field goal, Kyle Juszczyk was wide open on going down the sideline, beat his man. Oh my God. He was like this. It honestly was like the infield the size of a major league stadium, a major league stadium sized infield. That's the amount of room he had to work with. And Jimmy G overthrows him.
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy G just isn't the guy to get it done. Like, I think that's probably the biggest takeaway. And if I'm a Niners fan, I'm wondering, where is Trey Lance?
Yeah, I think he's kind of barking on his heels.
Yeah, I think he is. I think if you're not, like, if you drafted him to be your franchise QB, why not play him?
I don't know. I mean, I think they wanted one last season and see what some pressure would do to Jimmy G, and now see where to go from here, because the 49ers, yes, it was frustrating, but you could still sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, they're still right there.
8-7, and there's still a chance. So you still have that. You still have Debo, who's an absolute monster and pretty much won you the game. I mean, Jesus Christ, he ended up with what, 159 yards?
Such a baller. Mm-hmm. Such a fucking baller, man. I love watching Debo Samuel play.
He's the definition of electric. Like, we say, oh, it's the definition of electric. No, Debo is the definition of electric.
Absolutely. Just such a fun player to watch.
Mm-hmm. He could just flip the game. I mean, that's what he does. Is that
he's such a game. He's such a game changer. Such a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So now let's talk some Titans, because congratulations. Never apologize for winning. And especially a game like this, don't apologize. Proudly own that win, because you absolutely deserved it, because you made adjustments in the second half. So first half, the Titans fans were booing left and right because it was a very ugly game to watch. It was very boring. I think they had like 17 total yards in their first couple drives. So it was disgusting football, blown off the ball, first down. But then start getting a little aggressive with a guy named, I don't know, AJ Brown. You finally let him cook.
God, I love, another player I just love watching. AJ Brown is just good, man. He had 145 of their 209 receiving yards today.
And it shows you that he's just like same thing we mentioned about Debo, a little bit different player with AJ Brown, but he has takeover. Like, he had a major moss. That's one of those, like, okay, they say 50-50. When it's AJ Brown, it's like 80-20.
Yeah, they should just feed him every time. Like, honestly, he's just a machine. Like, his hands are like a vacuum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was like Shaq being in a jump ball like Betty White when he's going up for 50-50s, or excuse me, 80-20s.
Yeah, 80-20s. Yeah.
But you could come down with that shit, and that's a great feeling to have. And that was the difference of the game. That was the difference, because we saw, I mean, that's why the Titans fans were so frustrated with Vrabel, is that he wasn't able to make anything happen with the run game, but he kept going to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they maybe should lean on just looking at the stat sheet and looking at Julio Jones having one target, it's like they should lean into the passing game a little bit more, I think.
Because now you have a half of lean into the pass game, and it got you 20 more points than it did in the first half when you were leaning on the run game.
Exactly. And I think when you've got the fall off of Julio Jones has been wild, but I feel like if they start to include him in the offense a little bit more, I don't think that'll be a problem. But they've built this motif of having a really good run game. So I feel like it's kind of just like they're doing what they do, and what I want doesn't matter. What I want them to do doesn't matter.
Oh, overtime. Well, I think it did matter, though. I think what the fans want did matter, because it's what helped get them and switch up the game plan, and it worked. Absolutely worked.
Yeah, it did work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now I kind of feel like an idiot with my Titans take. But my Titans take was mostly about when they were injury riddled those couple weeks, like when they didn't have AJ Brown, Julio Jones, Derrick Henry. So a lot of that was dependent on that when the Patriots whooped their ass. So Titans with a healthy AJ Brown and a healthy, I don't know, Mike Vrabel, where he is understanding, then yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said to start it off, I neither team really moved the needle for me tonight. Like when you play one good half of football and that good half just so happens to be the second half, you can kind of be a prisoner of the moment and think like, holy shit, the Titans are for real. Like, but I still came away from this game. Like if I'm the Chiefs or if I'm a top team in the AFC, I'm not worried about the Titans.
Well, also the Titans were missing three offensive linemen.
True.
So that was big. So the fact that they were still able to do some stuff on offense wasn't great. They ended up with 278 total yards, but they still were able to end up with 20 points. Don't apologize for scoring 20 points. So you did that without three starting offensive linemen. So kudos to them.
278 total yards and AJ Brown had 145 of them. That's just another way to look at it. Like he's just so fucking good.
It's pretty much in and out where you're selling two food items. One was burgers, one's fries. AJ Brown was pick or choose fries or burger, but he was half of it.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
All right. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. So be worried about Jimmy G and shout out the Titans. Good job. Yep. All right. So now we have the weekend preview right here. Boom. All right. So if you are hearing my voice right now, then that means the 49ers just covered -3.5. All right. So first game on the slate is going to be Colts versus Cardinals. Cardinals are 1-point favorites and the over under is 49. So right now, these two teams are trending in completely opposite directions. The Cardinals are on a two-game losing streak. They lost to the Rams Monday Night Football and then just got smashed by the Lions 30-12. Colts, on the other hand, going completely up right now. They are 7-2 in their last 9 games. All right, Edward, what is your pick? Let's get it going.
I am doing the completely wrong thing. I'm not riding the hot hand. I'm going with the team trending down. Cardinals money line at home. I just think losing to the Lions is going to be a wake-up call. I know James Conner is questionable. I know Rondale Moore, I believe, is questionable as well, but I think Kyler Murray is going to get the job done, even though he doesn't have his main guy. But I keep waiting for the Colts to crack, and I think they're going to crack this week.
I see. Okay, so at least as far as the AFC South goes, the Titans are my team to crack. Now you do I want to go back to the loss of the Lions. I want to touch on that. So you do bring up a good point, though, is that the wake-up call. What is a wake-up call and what is a sign that this team is terrible? So you're going to say, because you could obviously, it's very subjective. You could pick one side or the other. So you're going to pick Lions 30-12 loss as a wake-up call and not a cry for help.
Yeah. I think there's too much talent on this team for them to be. They were 10-2 before their 2-game skid. Like they weren't 10-2 for no reason. Like, and I know they've caught the injury bug, but I think they're a better team than 10-4. They're a better team than losing 30-12 to the Lions. I think that was a wake-up call more than a we suck.
Yeah, I see. Okay, we're recording this now at 4:44 p.m. So a big controversy this entire week has with the Cardinals has been they didn't post a graphic of their loss.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So Big Cat, shout out Big Cat, bullied them into finally posting it. And they posted a 10 out of 10 hilarious video where they reenacted the scene from Love Actually with the posters.
Yeah. Dude, you got to be self-deprecating, especially as a team like that. The best social media accounts for sports teams are the ones that are self-deprecating and can pick fun at themselves, you know? So I loved that. I'm all in on that.
Because now it makes sense why they were probably waiting a couple extra days. How like Monday came around, they didn't do it. Tuesday came around, they didn't do it. Wednesday came around, and then this afternoon they finally did it. Because there was probably a lot of, I feel like there was a lot of scheming involved. I feel like they really wanted to. They sat people down as if they were in like actual production meeting, and it was like a writers meeting where they're trying to scheme their little get their script going, trying to pull from every part of their brain, and that's what they came up with. 10 out of 10, it was worth the wait. So that's my thing. I think that's why it took so long.
Yeah, you're probably right. This was all schemed up for sure,
because it was a little too good.
A
little too good.
They had to have this planned out.
Because also when you're doing the poster thing, there's no room for errors, because that's a permanent black marker. So you have one shot, and if you mess up one letter on any of those posters, then that's it. You got to start the whole thing over, or you got to start over again.
Yeah, you got to flip it over and do it on the other side and hope you don't fuck that up as well. And like we saw with their post with the Chicago bean like statue thing, they turned it into an L. How much hate that got? Like they knew they couldn't whiff again.
Yeah, I mean, after you post the vibrator, you're kind of down to the last straw.
Yeah. You've got to pick it up from there.
It's only literally up from a butt plug.
Exactly.
You can't get lower than that. So shout out to the Cardinals, because I was gonna be honest. Me and the entire world is gonna put a curse on them for not posting it. So that was my main motivation when I was making my picks earlier this morning, like around 9 a.m. So they fixed it. However, still on the Colts. Still love the Colts.
Still on the Colts.
Because we're in a really strange part of the season where we're, especially with the Cardinals, they're kind of confusing, because like you said, we're at the part of, are they bad? Is it, like I said, cry for help or a wake-up call? Well, it's gotten to a point now where I was looking at their SB Nation account. It's called Revenge of the Birds. And there was a legitimate article about playing Colt McCoy over Kyler. That is where they're, hand to God, I have it pulled up right in front of me.
No, I believe that the article's real. I just can't believe, like, that's stupid.
The level of stupidity.
Yes, the level of stupidity made me say stop.
Oh my God. This is just one of my favorite quotes I've seen pretty much throughout any article I've read this year. Subbing in Colt McCoy in no way means that Kyler isn't the team's franchise QB moving forward. You usually play your best player and the franchise player in December, because it's just going to be, why would you not play him going forward? Whoever gets you to the playoffs, like, I don't know, dance with the girl you brought to prom.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's just a bogus thing to say. Like, that's just a bogus thing to suggest.
Yeah. And I also think that it might be time to worry about the Cardinals just a little bit, because Cliff Kingsbury, his tenure hasn't gone as great as we'd like it to. Last year, they went 8-8, so they were close to the playoffs. Really good start, kind of fell off the face of the earth down the stretch, and they're trending in the same direction. But it's weird. Like, people have been saying that they're a very competitive team. They're very competitive under Cliff, because in only 6 of Cliff's 46 games has the team been out of the game by the middle of the fourth quarter, which is the most in Cardinals history. Not a great history to begin with. But then his record is 23-22-1. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the final thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter how competitive you are. It just matters the final record. Because if you're competitive in 40 of 46 games, but you only win half of those, well, it means that you're not good when it comes down to the stretch.
Yeah. I actually didn't know his record was that. So that kind of surprises me, but I do think
that it was higher or lower.
But I do think that this is like the prove it week. I think another term that we've coined very frequently is the prove it game or the prove it week. And I think this is it for the Cardinals. And I think if they lose this week, then I'll take them off the list of contenders, in my opinion. And not to say losing to the Colts is a bad loss, because the Colts are a good team. But when you're at home, you should be able to beat the Colts. Especially when you have Kyler Murray at QB.
Yeah, I mean, okay, they beat the Rams and they beat, like, hypothetically beat the Rams on the Monday Night Football game, even though they got dominated. And then after getting smashed against the Lions, flip that around, then this should be a handle business game. Just take care of
Exactly.
business. But
Yeah.
no, now this is, like you said, a prove it game. And we kind of do have to factor in a little that the Colts are pretty good right now. I don't want to take anything away from the Colts by saying
Oh
that
yeah.
this is like all on the Cardinals. If they lose, then it's the end of the world, because then you're discrediting what Jonathan Taylor has done, what the defense has done.
No, absolutely. No credit. I don't want to sound like a Colts hater, first of all. No, I don't want any credit taken away from how good they have been. They've been absolutely awesome. I'm a very vocal supporter of Jonathan Taylor for MVP,
Mhm.
but I can't buy into Carson Wentz. I just can't do it. I don't think they can, like, he's good enough to win you games, but is he good enough to get you like much further than maybe a wild card spot? I don't think so. Jonathan Taylor is good enough to get you past, but at some point, your quarterback's going to have to step up. And when that time comes, I don't think Carson Wentz is that guy.
You know, I'm kind of torn on this because I was listening to an interview today, and it was the topic of the 2019 49ers came up because they were talking about Kyle Shanahan. And Jimmy G barely did anything in that playoff run. He really didn't do much, and they were very successful. Pretty much one big throw away from him to win a Super Bowl. They got to the Super Bowl, and he wasn't crazy good. I do wonder if this team could have a similar trajectory with the way
Yeah.
Jonathan. I mean, it's two very different teams, but we have there are now, granted, seldom, but there are some examples of teams going far with having a quarterback who puts up similar or kind of in the same ballpark statistics as Carson Wentz.
No, that's a very valid argument to make. But I just think with how stacked, like, I feel like there's so many teams this year that are really good. Like, there's a lot of really good teams out there. And I just don't know if they can get through a team like the Chiefs or even the Patriots with not having a good enough quarterback.
Ooh,
Because, I mean, the
yeah.
Chiefs were that buzzsaw that the 49ers ran into. And obviously it wasn't until the Super Bowl, but, the Chiefs won.
Mhm.
So I think at some point, Carson Wentz is going to have to step up. And I don't know if he can.
But I think step up for Carson Wentz isn't much. I don't think, like, for step up for Carson Wentz, in my very stupid opinion, is like 14 of 15 or 14, 15 of 20 for 20 passes and like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, like within the red zone and no turnovers. For me, that's the definition of a gold standard Carson Wentz game.
Yeah, but that's an objectively really good game. Like, I don't want him to be like Patrick Mahomes, where he throws 50 times and throws for 450 yards and 4 TDs.
Mhm.
But yeah, by step up, I guess what I mean is like 14 or 15 for 20, 250 to 280 yards, a couple touchdowns,
Okay,
and
now you're
all
pushing it.
ball security, ball security.
Yeah, now you brought it up to 250, 280. Now you're pushing it.
Now I'm pushing it. Okay.
I'm capping him at a strict 215. 215.
215. Okay.
Don't get crazy now.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Mhm. Yeah, so there is that part. Now let's focus on why the Colts are the Colts and why they're playing well. It's simple. It's Jonathan Taylor, JT. So reading this is courtesy of CBS Sports. It's kind of interesting. Changed my perspective on a topic that's been going around a lot. Has he been getting too much of a workload? Is this going to be something that's going to hurt the Colts in the end? Because Jonathan Taylor, he's had insane amount of workload, huge. Like, he is the entire offense, similar to like a Derrick Henry last year. But the thing is, he has been used to this. This is something that has been a part of his game in college. So he carried the ball 299 or more times in each of his 3 collegiate seasons at Wisconsin, breaking 1,900 yards in each year and twice going over the 2,000-yard mark. That's a lot of handoffs, and he's only 22, but this isn't anything new for him. And it's weird thinking about that. I never thought about this before this morning, but I feel like he's kind of prepared for this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he was built to sustain a heavy workload, and that's starting to show, especially lately with just how incredible he's been.
Yeah, because that's the big question with all these running backs. And you've seen it like with Christian McCaffrey, especially, is can they handle the workload? And Christian, I mean, CMC might just be a special case, but yeah, for the way he's running and that kind of just how he's built, he's just a bulldozer. He's a very durable bulldozer.
Oh, he's like Derrick Henry. He gives off Derrick Henry vibes, and the fact that you can give them the ball 50 times in a game and they'll be mad that they didn't get 51.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're always hungry for that, for every carry they can possibly get.
Yeah, he's like one incense sticking out of his helmet from being Derrick Henry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so all right, I got Colts money line, and then you have
I was Cardinals money line, so
Cardinals
we were opposite on that one.
Be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
All right. So now we have Bills versus Patriots. Patriots are 2.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 43.5. Pats are coming off a very embarrassing loss against the Colts on Thursday night or Saturday Night Football last weekend. And then the Bills just blew the Panthers out of the water. What is your pick?
I'm going with my gut instead of my head again.
Were you right on that? Which game was that you did that? I'm interested.
It was football team +7.
Oh, and you were wrong.
Was I wrong?
Yeah, you were wrong. They won by the Eagles won by 10.
Yeah. I'll go
flip it.
No.
Okay.
I'm sticking to my gut again, and I'm taking Bills money line.
Oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. For me, I didn't have any skin in the points favorite game. I'm laying the under 43.5 because I just don't know. My opinion on this game is that I think it's going to be defense heavy.
Yeah.
So what is the case for the Bills winning? Because I'm very confused.
No, I'm with you as well. I was actually going to add, and if I had to pick the over under, I'd pick the under. In low scoring games that are defense heavy, it usually means the best player or the best quarterback is going to have to make a play to win. And who's the best quarterback? I think we all know it's Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. So I think even though it's going to be a defensive game, I think this is going to be a gritty performance from Josh Allen. Wouldn't be surprised if he runs the ball a lot. And I think this is kind of going to be Josh Allen's like, I'm still here game. Like, I think a lot of people doubt him. And because the Bills have struggled, a lot of people picked them to win the AFC, and they really haven't looked like that. So I think he's going to kind of re-announce himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And I think he's really going to step up and be and carry the Bills to a win.
Because he kind of like we were talking about the Cardinals earlier, teams or / guys have fallen off the face of the earth. He kind of has been that guy because heading into this year, if he was not the MVP favorite for whoever it is, he was among probably the 3 or 4 top MVP favorites. I think that's pretty general, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not very controversial.
No.
And he has struggled. He has been able to rack up a ton of yards, but it's also because the running game hasn't been good. So you're right. Like, this is the time for Josh. This is like Josh Allen's "Are you not entertained" game.
Yeah. And I was one of those people that was in Josh Allen's camp to start the season. I think I probably mentioned how I thought he was going to win MVP, but that's not going to happen. So, but I think you're right. Now is probably his "Are you not entertained" game. And this is going to be where he shows what he is again.
Because the Bills have been playing a very solid last 5 quarters or in overtime of football. It's been very frustrating for them, but they are trending up. They are trending on the up.
Yeah. And I think they're going to get hot, and I think they're poised to go on a big run. But I think this is a big test. This is a very big test, and that's kind of like obvious. Like, Bill Belichick and the Patriots is a big test in December. Yeah. Like you
Mhm.
need to be able to beat them to if you want to have any shot. So this is a big game. I'm really looking forward to this game.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say definitely my favorite game of the weekend.
Lock of the
Uh,
week.
what's up?
Is this your lock of the week?
This isn't my lock. This is the game I'm most I have
Okay.
no lock. I'll hand up. I have no locks. I have no locks. It's
Fair.
it's where I'm at.
Fair.
It's where I'm at. Gun. If there was a lock this week, and this is a partial lock, this is a don't hold me accountable lock. It would be minus three. 49ers minus 3.5
Yeah,
for
yeah.
tonight. But and if you're listening
Yeah.
to me, then I'll either be a genius or an idiot at this
Yeah.
point in the show. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit. Let's talk some Patriots because this is huge for them. The last time they met up, it felt like the Patriots pretty much ruined and decimated the Bills, and they were down bad. You have Sean McDermott's comments talking about how it wasn't much on Belichick, and yeah, so now it's a little bit flipped because if the Bills go crazy this game, then now it's like what's happening to the Patriots. But I do have a lot of confidence in Bill to really rally the troops. And there was like a lot of criticism on from about Mac Jones saying that the Patriots were feeling sorry for themselves after the bye week. And I think he misquoted himself. I think he meant to say that it's something along the lines of that they just weren't prepared and they weren't able to just bounce back and weren't getting hyped. I don't think it was feeling sorry. Like, I don't think they were sad about anything. I think he was 22 and said the wrong thing. So I
Yeah.
feel like he's been getting a ton of flack about that. So yeah, it's interesting to see if Bill goes full fuck you mode.
Yeah. And I think, this is two of the best coaches I personally believe in the NFL going at it. So I think this is going to be a great coaching chess match. I love a good coaching chess match, but that's a mouthful in the NFL. Like it's just so fun when you're watching two of the best
Mhm.
football minds orchestrating everything. And I think that's what this game is going to be.
Mhm. Because last game there was like a lot of like little mistakes here and there. Like Mac Jones, for example, he missed on a talk about mouthfuls, flea flicker. He missed N'Keal Harry. He didn't see him, and it would have been probably a touchdown if he connected. And then we also have the blocked punt that went for a touchdown for the Colts. So that's a very quick, easy fix right there. And the Patriots have made their money off of being great at special teams, being great at all three phases of the game. So if you clean up that little blip, then you're looking at a much more competitive game against the Colts and competitive football heading forward. If they're starting to actually take advantage on the special teams portion, oof, it's going to get scary.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like little mistakes like that are so correct, like easy to correct. And, and it's easy to think like, oh, well, if we had just done this, we could have won this game. But no, I definitely think this is a big game for both teams just to kind of really judge where they are for going forward. I think whoever comes out of this game is probably like one of the favorites still in the AFC, loser still in it, but
Mhm.
this is just probably it's a rivalry game, so it's going to be emotional, especially this late in the season. I feel like there's a lot at stake in this one.
Because it's not necessarily a loser goes home because
No,
one of
no,
these teams could lose. And if they go far and if they make like the AFC championship game, I wouldn't be surprised.
no, yeah,
That's what makes this game so good. So yeah, I'm going to say definitely that this is the game of the weekend. I don't think there's
yeah.
much arguing about that
Mm-mm.
because that's what we want to see. We want to see if the Patriots peaked way too early because that does happen with certain teams. Cough, cough, the Cardinals.
No, come on.
I don't. I think they peaked.
This
And
is the week. If they lose, I'll concede and say they peaked too early. If they win, though, don't sleep.
it is hanging on the thread. I wouldn't say they're peaking yet. A 3-game losing streak is huge. It's a big difference between 2 and
Yeah,
3.
yeah. If they lose this week, I think yeah, I'll admit that they peaked.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as this game goes, this rivalry is that especially the way I keep on going back, the way the Pats beat them, only threw 3 times. Holy shit! If they kind of have a similar game where they dominate the trenches and just absolutely bludgeon the Colts. And because the Colts are, oh Jesus, brain fart, Jesus. If you absolutely kill the Bills and you once again just, I don't know, emasculate their offensive line and defensive line, you're looking at a Patriots team who has so much more momentum, and like a scary amount of momentum where they executed the bounce back game to a T.
Yeah. And I mean, according to the AccuWeather on ESPN, it's going to be 42 degrees at kickoff in Foxborough. So as long as there's no wind crazy like last time, I don't know if Bill's going to put that back in the game plan to kind of just bulldoze and only have Mac Jones throw 4 times. And that's where I'll be like, the Bills are going to win.
Well, I mean, here's where it gets very interesting because the Patriots have Damian Harris back. He missed last week's game against the Colts, but he did play in the game against the previous matchup against the Bills. So that's huge. But then they're going to be missing Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, and Gunnar Olszewski. I know that was my Kendrick Perkins, Moses Amudier. Yeah. So that was my version of that one. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to pronounce it phonetically. I was going to do phonetically. Olszewski.
There we go. That's got to be right.
I'm sure. Yeah, Gunnar. Actually, that's very smart to have a very recognizable first name so people don't have to say your last name.
Yeah, just call you Gunnar.
Mm-hmm. Good football name too.
Great football name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, now you're getting 3, or you're going to be missing 3 wide receivers. So that's also why I went with the under, is that there's going to be a lot of like 2 tight end packages. And I feel like it's going to be a little bit more predictable when play actions are coming. Not sure on that so much, but so the Patriots are going to be a lot more limited, but I mean, who knows? Maybe this is like Bill football, like wintertime, it's 40 degrees, it's cold. You're going to see like everybody's like the white of their breath.
Yeah, no, this is going to be some fun, cold football. I wish this would be a snow game.
It would be great.
Like, right. A game like this as a snow game would just be awesome.
Mm-hmm. I want to see Bill's nose get like really, really red, like Rudolph.
Yeah. Need to see Rudolph on the sideline.
That'll be great. All right, and then it's a little quick. So the Patriots can clinch the AFC East if they win, and then Miami loses or ties. So just want to throw that in there that the Patriots still control their own destiny. Because no matter what, they'll have the tiebreaker over the Bills. Or who knows? Maybe or maybe not have the tiebreaker over the Bills.
Yeah, be interesting. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we have Ravens versus Bengals. The Bengals are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 45. So the Ravens nearly edged out the Packers last week. They lost on the 2-point conversion. And then the Bengals played in a very ugly / boring game against the Broncos. Edged them out. It was 15-10. All right, so once again, I got another under. I'm going under 45. What about you?
I'm doing it. Give me Bengals -3. Give me the spread for the Bengals. I think they're going to win this game. Even if Lamar Jackson plays, I think they're going to win this game.
It doesn't look like it'll be Lamar. Once again, there's been nothing, at least from what I've been seeing personally, there's nothing that seems to be trending that direction.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a little bit more Huntley magic.
Look, and one big reason is like I don't think you're going to keep Jamar Chase quiet 2 weeks in a row. I don't think that's possible. I think he's going to have a big game, especially with how depleted the Ravens secondary is. I just think this is going to be a game where they hit their home runs, the Bengals. We always talk about how they're so off and on, but if they can connect consistently on their big plays, they are very dangerous. And I think they're going to come out on top on this one and firmly edge themselves as the front runner in the North.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So brought up Jamar Chase earlier, wanted to talk about this. So, huge shout out to Ravens defensive coordinator Wink Martindale just for his name alone. But he gave some excellent bulletin board material this week, and he said he will not double/triple team Jamar Chase like he did Devontae Adams. He said Devontae Adams is one of the top 2 receivers in the league, and he's not number 2. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame QB, and I don't think we're ready to buy a gold jacket for Joe Burrow. I mean, he's not wrong, but at the same time, that's insane bulletin board material for a team.
Yeah. Plus, I know that gets to Joe Burrow. I just know the competitor he is. Like I've seen it, throughout LSU, and I just know he's a fierce competitor. That's definitely on a bulletin board.
Which is funny though, because he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong at all. But
like Joe Burrow didn't play a little bit around like half of the rookie season, and he was like a backup. He's gonna be a backup in the Pro Bowl, but he's not among the top 5 QBs in the NFL.
No. So he's not wrong. It's just that was dumb. That was a dumb thing to say.
Mm-hmm. It's like kind of makes sense now why or just because you're talking about him, Bill Belichick is so boring in his pregame or in his like press conferences leading up to a game and after games. It's because he doesn't want to give teams any extra motivation.
No. Yeah,
you can kind of see
he's calculated. He's smarter than that.
Yeah. So once again, I think it's hilarious. Wink Martindale, not wrong, but you're also dumb for saying it. It's like, okay, pretty much if like a woman asks you, do I look fat in this?
Yeah, you just say no.
Yeah. Exactly. It's that simple. Never, ever, ever get yourself in trouble wise. Actually, just don't say the truth.
Don't say the truth.
Don't say the truth. Never, always lie.
Okay. Noted.
Thank you. And then so another thing I wanted to just a little bit of chatter for this game. Another thing I wanted to bring up from our guy Wink Martindale again.
Oh no.
So this is where I was going to fit in some of the COVID talk. All right, so we're in the midst of just a crazy COVID outbreak among the Baltimore Ravens. So they were down to 13 defensive players from their 53-man roster at Wednesday's practice. So Wink Martindale said, you go from the beginning of the season with our roster to right now, I don't know if we're playing football or the Squid Game.
No, I've never seen Squid Game, but that's just a bad Wink. What are you doing, man?
I don't know. I kind of liked it. I thought it was I thought it was a hilarious quote because that's what it honestly feels like is everybody's just dying off. No spoilers.
No, I know that. It's hard to avoid today, but I don't know. That's just kind of cringe.
I don't know. I respect it. I think it's like when your nickname is Wink, or first of all, when your name is Dawn and your nickname is Wink, I think you're just trying to do anything you can to catch up with the kids and stay up to date. You're the Steve Buscemi meme. How's it hanging?
True. Yeah.
Skateboard in his hand, backwards hat.
Fair. He needs to stay relevant.
Yeah, exactly. Way to stay relevant, Wink.
Yep.
I think it's very true. It just feels like, God damn it, this sucks. There's like football is getting kind of ruined, and sports in general are getting kind of ruined when every 10 seconds, the only breaking news you see is blank is going into health and safety COVID protocols.
I know, like I get a Twitter notification from like Woj or Shams, and I'm like, oh, there was a big NBA trade. Oh no, Kent Bazemore entered the health and safety. Oh, damn. Mm-hmm. Just another one. Like, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, it's it's hard to get a gauge on I can't imagine how frustrating it is to be a player right now. Only 13 defensive players from your 53-man roster. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you're really backed into a corner with that. I'm sure they have like taxi squads where they can call up people, but like that's just so tough.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't have any ability to communicate, like, because so much happens on the field. There's so much that we don't see during practice as fans that like really inside the like seeing how the sausage is made, seeing inside the factory. Well, there has to be so much going on that we're just not able to be aware of. And I'm definitely not smart enough to understand that is going to affect this game. And it's definitely not going to affect the game for the better.
Yeah. It's just such a tough situation, you know. It sucks. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah. But also last little COVID talk. Joe Burrow said, fortunately, there's not a lot to do in Cincinnati, and that's helped the Bengals from not going out and contracting COVID-19.
Way to call out his city like that.
And the people were very pissed about it, but then they're like, once again, like, it's kind of harsh, but it's true.
I've never been to Cincinnati, so I don't know, but
I can't speak on it. The only thing I know about Cincinnati is Skyline Chili.
Yeah. I know that from the TikTok trend.
And then, so yeah, if the only thing I know your city for is one food item, and it's just like ironically putting spaghetti on top of spaghetti, or Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
I swear this was like a fully lucid, drug-free podcast, alcohol-free podcast. When you're
start over.
Yeah, when you're putting chili on your spaghetti, and that's the only thing see, that's the thing. I'm an idiot, but I know how to get back on track.
Yes, you do.
I know when I go wrong, just like all of you know when I'm going wrong. When it's going downhill, trust me, nobody sees it. I'm the pilot of the shit. I see myself nosediving. But don't you think I'm not going to pick right back up?
No, you do. You get right back to it.
Mm-hmm. I got bucked off the horse, but I'm going to get back on. Yeah. All right. Now it's time to deliver. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. When your city is only known for chili that goes on top of spaghetti, it probably means you have nothing going on.
There we go. Yes.
Flawless.
I kind of want to try that though. That sounds really freaking good.
It doesn't sound bad. Like, it sounds fine, but that's the only thing I know it for. And I feel like I'm pretty well versed in American geography.
Yeah.
As far as nightlife, like, there's always something. Like, okay, Chicago is known for deep dish, but we know that there's tons of shit to do in Chicago.
Yeah. No, Cincinnati doesn't seem like the coolest place in the world, but again, I've never been, so I don't know.
And it's also coming, like, Joe Burrow lived in Ohio. Like, he played at Ohio State.
So he would know. So I trust his word for it. But yeah, I guess not much to do there, but that's good. A good thing when you're trying to battle a global pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's it for our COVID talk. So now let's get a little bit more game talk in. I did want to talk some Tyler Huntley. I bet on Geno Smith early this year after he got hot. I'm not going to make the same mistake with Tyler Huntley.
Okay, good. Don't.
I saw what Geno did. I fell in love. And the football season is so goddamn long that I'm going to try and right my mistake before it's too late. And this is going to be the time I do it. I'm not going to fall in love with Tyler Huntley. I know he's good. Sometimes, like, I mistake him for Lamar, but I know what I'm doing.
Good. Don't make the Geno mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might get exposed this game.
This will be a major, now we have film on you. It's over, bud.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have a week and a half or however of film, and you're done.
Yeah. Because the Bengals defense is really good. So I'm interested in seeing how, like, Trey Hendrickson is going to play. He's been a beast this year. Just made a Pro Bowl. He's like top 5 in sacks.
Former Saint.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out him. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that covers it.
All right, cool. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the OK Takes podcast. If you would like to follow myself on social media, you can find me at Matt Weiner20 on Instagram and Twitter. You have to follow Edward on his Instagram and Twitter. You can find him at Edward_Vento. And if you have no care in the world for anything you have to say, make sure to follow OK Takes on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at OK Takes Pod. That is OKAY Takes Pod. OKAY Takes Pod. Takes 2 seconds and will help us tremendously. And also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can get the full video episode. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and have a wonderful day.